We just made the turnoff onto Horseshoe Dam Road, and it will end up taking us to a really unique waterfall out in a remote part of Arizona. It's a waterfall that only flows a few times a year, so it's a real treat when you get to see it. However, getting out to the waterfall is a whole other story. As you can see, it starts off as a pretty smooth ride down this winding desert road. It was a pretty good day for an adventure. The sky was blue, the temperature was optimal, and there was little to no wind, which meant more flying time for my drone. Things were looking up, but eventually we ran out of pavement and we had to take the dirt road the rest of the way. Now, this is where things start to get interesting because the conditions of this road are so unpredictable. One moment it's as smooth as flatbread, and then 10 seconds later, boom, there's more bumps on the road than there is on a mirror in a Motley Crue dressing room. A high clearance 4x4 vehicle is not required to make it out here, but it does help. During my drive, I saw everything from Jeeps, dirt bikes, trucks, side by sides, and even a BMW. And if I had to guess, it was probably being drove by a person named Chad who wears jeans to the gym, thinks he's a beer pong god, and drinks nothing but for logos. That might be a little off topic, but you know what I mean. During the summer, this area is pretty poppin', but on the day I went, it was fairly mellow. It was a gorgeous day and quite peaceful. It was fun making my way through the hills and staring out at the saguaro cacti. It always amazes me at how big these things can get. On average, they can grow to reach a height of 40 feet, which is close to 6 Shaquille O'Neal's, and the tallest saguaro cactus ever measured stood at a whopping 70 feet, which is equivalent to 10 big shows. Now that's humongous. So this is a public service announcement for anyone that sees this video and decides they want to come out here. Be really, oh yeah, this is if you have a car like mine, a small little passenger vehicle. Be careful for the parts that look like this. All these little rocks sticking out here. If you go slow and kind of stay to the edge, you'll be just fine. But it's parts like these where if you're not watching where you're going, these will ding the bottom of your car pretty darn good. And this is the part that I remember last time being out here that took me a little while to go through just because I was so careful and I didn't want to ding my car. I don't get a single bar of service out here either, so we got to be really careful. But I have been seeing more vehicles, dirt bikes, trucks, side by sides out here, so if we were to get, stranded or have car trouble, there's a lot of good people out here. At this point in our journey, we weren't too far away from the waterfall. The key is to go slow and be very aware of your surroundings, and always bring plenty of supplies in the event of a breakdown. As I was inching along, I did see a little pullout area near the Verde River, so I decided to check it out. And there we have the Verde River. I think it's about 58, 59 degrees right now. Sunny, gorgeous day. According to southwest.audubon.org, the Verde River is roughly 170 miles long. It begins at Sullivan Dam, which is about 20 miles north of Prescott, Arizona. It continues a long journey southeast before pouring into the Salt River. And the cool thing about the confluence of the Salt and Verde River is the color difference. You got the muddy waters of the Verde River mixing with the dark blues of the Salt River. It's a fascinating thing to see if you're ever in the area. We might get a little wet, but it's all part of the experience. Walking underneath the dam as the water was spilling over directly above us was such a cool experience. And yes, it may not be a natural waterfall, but it's still so cool. Out of all the dams I've visited in Arizona, this one is definitely my favorite. Not only can you drive to it and get a pretty good view from the sides, but you get to walk underneath it. You'll definitely get a little wet in the process, but I promise you, it's well worth it. And in fact, that's why I didn't record walking underneath the entire thing, because once I got about halfway through, the water was dripping on me pretty good, and the mist completely covered my camera lens. But I tucked my camera underneath my shirt just enough so it wouldn't get damaged. According to SRP.net, Horseshoe Dam was built between the years of 1944 and 1946. It stands at 144 feet tall and 1,500 feet long. It was built by the Phelps Dodge Corporation, which was a mining company, and the Defense Plant Corporation, which was an agency of the emergency government during World War II. And of course, the dam creates what we know today as Horseshoe Lake. Well, technically, it's Horseshoe Reservoir. The dam's original purpose was to increase water storage for the Phoenix region, while at the same time supplying water to the Morenci copper mine in eastern Arizona. Horseshoe Dam is one of two dams on the Verde River, and the other dam is called Bartlett Dam, and that one is located about 20 miles downstream. And if you want to see a video I did on that dam, you can click the card in the upper right hand corner or click the link in the description once this video is finished. On any given day out here, you can find people fishing, boating, camping, hiking, smoking doobies and listening to Bob Marley, riding dirt bikes, or even just coming out here for the day and catching a glimpse of the dam releasing water. They only do this a couple times per year, and every time I post a picture or make a reel about this dam and put it on social media, I'm always amazed by how many people have either never heard of it or been out here. Last time I was out here was in June of 2023, and it was just a spur of a moment kind of trip. I didn't really have any expectations other than coming out here and seeing the waterfall, but I managed to capture some video of a truck driving over the dam. Check it out.
Cool.
Now, I was completely taken back by this as it was something I wasn't expecting to see, like a prostitute in Trader Joe's. And then a little later, when I got to the other side of the dam, that same pickup came back along with another one hauling a trailer.
That is something.
So cool to watch, but it also gave me mad anxiety because of that movie Dante's Peak when William Shatner's character gets stuck on a bridge and ends up kicking the bucket. If only he would have listened to Harry in the beginning, his death probably could have been avoided. Good movie though. Now, this video should have been a heck of a lot longer, but unfortunately, the road to the next place that I wanted to visit was closed off due to the risk of a forest fire. Not a whole lot I can do about that, but we're going to save that destination for another day. Special thanks to those that made contributions to the channel. Thank you all for tuning into this week's video. As always, the gear that I use to make these videos is linked down in the description, and if you want to keep the adventures going, be sure to click the next video.